Today, we have a Powell Studio exclusive for our providers. If you're someone who's not aware of the FDA approval for body composition and biostimulation that has newly come out in Europe, or if you're a provider that has already mastered this craft and you want to learn more, this episode's for you. Transformation is not accidental. Through decades of experience, I have realized that precision and opportunities for optimal results require a thoughtful consumer. Here we talk about what creates elevated outcomes, from aesthetics to injectables, wellness, biohacking, hormone replacement therapy. For clients, it's clarity, and for providers, it's mastery. There's no fluff, no shortcuts. Just precision. This podcast is for those who want to age gracefully, they want to invest intentionally, and they want results that compound. Welcome to PS with Jen. Today we're going to dive into the new FDA approval for Sculptra Body in Europe. And why is this important? As providers, you need to stay ahead of the industry and make sure that your office is providing what's coming down the pipeline, that you're in the know. And this is important for our offices who have been doing this all along. We've been working, beyond the FDA approval, beyond the label, making sure that the needs of our patients were being met. And so what we have noticed in practice is now coming to light through science and research and continued efforts. As a provider, you want to make sure that body biostimulation is something that you can offer confidently. We all know that Sculptra in the face has been a very powerful tool as the turning back the hands of time. Aging is something that we don't have to worry about the same because we have that bone reabsorption that is being stalled with our Sculptra. We have that huge boost of collagen, that elasticity, and that improvement of genes that we have just through new research have been brought to light about how it's even supporting melasma and that expression. So as we dive into this topic today, I want to make sure that as a provider, you know where this fits in your practice. You know how this is going to drive revenue in your practice. You understand why just watching a show on YouTube is not the only answer, but why training at Powell Studio through our Powell Precision Bio Body Stimulation training, that's going to add value and confidence and revenue driving in your practice. So today, as we jump back into Sculptra, we think about collagen stimulation, improved elasticity. We've done this in the face forever. Some have ventured to the neck and to the décolleté. We're using this head to toe. We want to make sure that we are thoughtfully advancing our skills through consultation. We're understanding that body anatomy varies and that dilution is different. We want to make sure that we're taking safety considerations and variations very seriously. And then we're treatment planning confidently. Many people don't realize how to structure this, and so we want to make sure that this isn't something that you hold back on in your practice because you don't feel confident to move forward and do so. So we know Sculptra polylactic acid is a collagen builder. It is going to improve the skin integrity. It's going to improve the elasticity, the building blocks of our skin health. And so when we place it strategically, we're going to create lifting, volume restoring, confidence for our patients. We're going to remove the crepiness that they're experiencing. We can use this as a driver for multimodalities into our offices, those who are supporting with hormone replacement or body contouring, smoothing, and toning devices. This is a beautiful opportunity, just like when we use it in the face, to stimulate collagen first and drive those results home. So we think about this new FDA approval, and we know that this is what's leading our aesthetics industry. We want to stay at the forefront of what's coming down the pipeline. And so when you're assessing a patient, you're not just looking at their neck up. You're thinking about them as a whole person and diving into strategic packages that will allow them to continue to feel confident head to toe and support their efforts that they're making as they're a patient in your practice. Thinking about driving more patients instead of maximizing the patients that you currently have. We've noticed a huge crossover from aesthetics to wellness at Powell Studio over the last several years, and this has been a huge driver of revenue for our patients that are naturally asking for this with minimal marketing. This has been a huge uptick because of all the GLP-1s. The more that aesthetics has changed, those larger bodies, more curvy, have come to a space where a thinner physique is now what is trending. And so what people have done is use some of the tools for weight management and had more rapid weight loss than they could keep up with the elasticity or the bounce back of their skin. And so that retraction is not there. And what we can do is place that Sculptra strategically. We think about when we place it in the face, diluting at 9 mLs of bacteriostatic water and lidocaine is what's driving that beautiful result. Well, that's not going to match and align when you're using it in different areas of the body. Are we trying to improve elasticity? Are we trying to build volume? What are our goals? How quick do we need to get there? These fine-tuning, assessment, strategy, and packaging so that the patient can wrap their head around what the difference between driving Sculptra body composition through biostimulation or surgery means for them. Sometimes people think, oh, I can just do surgery and that's that, but they're not going to get that improved skin integrity with surgery, lifting, trimming, and tucking. That's not the same. This is not collagen building. Even with a surgical procedure, I tell people all the time, you still need me. We need to build collagen. We need to strengthen that skin, and we need to do it as a team. So surgery is not the answer, but it also almost always drives a situation where they still need to have a plan with fine tuning and strategy that helps to finish their results, the icing on the cake. For some people, surgery isn't the answer. They're not a good candidate. It's high risk. They don't have time for downtime. The expense is great. For some of our people who are looking for that more volume-based, we want to make sure that we're driving strategic plan, and whether it's 1 to 2 sessions or we're building them over a year. Taking things slow isn't necessarily a bad thing, but we want to make sure that that expectation is being met. Where we notice providers sometimes go wrong is that they are doing rapid trainings, trying to learn on their own, and they are missing the boat of beautiful outcomes because their reconstitution is not accurate, their plane and depth of placement of the product is not accurate, and they're missing that wow outcome. And so it's driving complications. I've had providers come to me before with, oh, I tried to treat the neck and they had lumps or bumps. These are really concerning, things that would deter me from adding this in my practice. But I knew exactly what happened is they weren't properly trained to move forward confidently, knowing the why behind the wow, and making sure that they replicated that each and every time they assessed a patient, made sure that they were a good candidate and that they were going to move forward with predictable outcomes. This is why I created the POWELL Precision Biostimulation Training. This is where we dive in. We want to make sure that we're mastering anatomy, mastering our ability for dilution and reconstitution strategically for different tissue types. We want to make sure that we're confidently assessing and creating a situation where we are diving into consultation and making sure that the patient and you as a provider feel confident to make thoughtful packaged recommendations. We want to know when to choose Radius versus Sculptra. Biostimulation isn't one size fits all. We need to create a variation of treatment plan depending on the area that we're treating and we're addressing. We want to make sure that we know how to strategically place multiple modalities to optimize outcomes. We want to be able to use strategy of lasers and other devices in the office to make sure that that optimal outcome that patient is experiencing and wanting as a goal is what you can deliver. We're also going to implement real live demonstration during our training at POWELL Studio Academy. We're packaging and making sure that business strategy is something that you leave with tied in a bow. You want to be confident as a provider so that this is something that you can implement into your office right away. This is business strategy, not just injections and leave with a class that you won't move forward with. Your confidence will be built. Your strategy will be there. The science to back every decision that you make moving forward is part of today's training. From a business standpoint, Sculptra Body Biostimulation is a growth opportunity for 2026. We want to make sure that we're not following trends, but we understand where the aesthetic industry is going. When we think about body stimulation, we think about how we can drive predictable, beautiful outcomes with low downtime to minimal downtime, lower risk, that are not compared with surgical interventions. We want to make sure that the patient is aware how they can use multiple modalities in your office. This improves the return on investment. It leaves you confidently treating patients with a high return on revenue treatment that you can look forward to performing instead of something that you dread because you're not confident to do so. The Sculptra Body Biostimulation FDA approval in Europe is a clear indication of where the aesthetics market is going in 2026. This is no longer an off-label experimentation treatment, but instead it's backed by science and research. And this is going to drive our 2026 growth as providers and leaders in the industry. The POWELL Precision Body Biostimulation Training is designed to give you skills, confidence, revenue-driving training that is going to build your practice in 2026. This training is going to take place on March 16th. Click the link below to reserve your spot.